Lessons in Humility by Louis Ginzberg. Great and powerful as Solomon was, and wise and just, still occasions were not lacking to bring home to him the truth that the wisest and mightiest of mortals may not indulge in pride and arrogance. Solomon had a precious piece of tapestry, 60 miles square, on which he flew through the air so swiftly that he could eat breakfast in Damascus and supper in Media. To carry out his orders he had at his beck, and call Asaph ben Berechiah, 77 among men, Ramarat among demons, the lion among beasts, and the eagle among birds. Once it happened that pride possessed Solomon while he was sailing through the air on his carpet, and he said, "There is none like unto me in the world, upon whom God has bestowed sagacity, wisdom, intelligence, and knowledge, besides making me the ruler of the world." The same instant the air stirred, and 40,000 men dropped from the magic carpet. The king ordered the wind to cease from blowing with the word, "Return," whereupon the wind, "If thou wilt return to God and subdue thy pride, I too will return." The king realized his transgression. On one occasion, he strayed into the valley of the ants in the course of his wanderings. He heard one ant order all the others to withdraw to avoid being crushed by the armies of Solomon. The king halted and summoned the ant that had spoken. She told him that she was the queen of the ants, and she gave her reasons for the order of withdrawal. Solomon wanted to put a question to the ant queen, but she refused to answer unless the king took her up and placed her on his hand. He acquiesced, and then he put his question, "Is there anyone greater than I am in all the world?" "Yes," said the ant. "Solomon, who?" "Ant, I am." "Solomon, how is that possible?" "Ant, were I not greater than thou, God would not have led thee hither to put me on thy hand." Exasperated, Solomon threw her to the ground and said, "Thou knowest who I am. I am Solomon, the son of David." Not at all intimidated, the ant reminded the king of his earthly origin and admonished him to humility, and the king went off abashed. Next he came to a magnificent building, into which he sought to enter in vain. He could find no door leading into it. After long search, the demons came upon an eagle 700 years old, and he, unable to give them any information, sent him to his 900 years old brother, whose eyrie was higher than his own, and who would probably be in a position to advise them. But he in turn directed them to go to his still older brother. His age counted 1,300 years, and he had more knowledge than himself. This oldest, one of the eagles, reported that he remembered having heard his father say there was a door on the west side, but it was covered up by the dust of the ages that had passed since it was last used. So it turned out to be. They found an old iron door with the inscription, "We, the dwellers in this palace, for many years lived in comfort and luxury. Then, forced by hunger, we ground pearls into flour instead of wheat, but to no avail. And so, when we were about to die, we bequeathed this palace to the eagles." A second statement contained a detailed description of the wonderful palace and mentioned where the keys for the different chambers were to be found. Following the directions on the door, Solomon inspected the remarkable building, whose apartments were made of pearls and precious stones. Inscribed on the doors, he found the following 3 wise proverbs, dealing with the vanity of all earthly things and admonishing men to be humble. "O son of man, let not time deceive thee. Thou must wither away and leave thy place to rest in the bosom of the earth. Haste thee not, move slowly, for the world is taken from one and bestowed upon another. Furnish thyself with food for the journey, prepare thy meal while daylight lasts, for thou wilt not remain on earth forever, and thou knowest not the day of thy death." 78. In one of the chambers, Solomon saw a number of statues, among them one that looked as though alive. When he approached it, it called out in a loud voice, "Hither, ye Satans, Solomon has come to undo you." Suddenly there arose great noise and tumult among the statues. Solomon pronounced the name, and quiet was restored. The statues were overthrown, and the sons of the Satans ran into the sea and were drowned. From the throat of the lifelike statue, he drew a silver plate inscribed with characters which he could not decipher. But a youth from the desert told the king, "These letters are Greek, and the words mean, I Shaddad ben Ad, ruled over 1,000 provinces, rode on 1,000 horses, had 1,000 kings under me, and slew 1,000 heroes, and when the angel of death approached me, I was powerless.